there's been some interesting things being discussed over the past few weeks here, and I haven't really, heard anything from the good old trusty, reliable legacy media about it. All right, so first off, I want to discuss with you guys this whole court case in New Zealand and how basically the New Zealand Court of Appeals has basically stated that the defense force there in their country mandating vaccines on people when it came to COVID-19 was breaching upon people's rights and infringing upon them. And not only that, Queensland, Australia is also kind of jumping on that bandwagon as well too. It kind of seems like things are, turning around a bit more, and more people are starting to wake up and more justice is being served. But before we go and get more into this really thrilling and exciting turn of events, cue intro. Let's take a look at an article that Rebel News posted on February 18th a couple weeks ago talking about this. In a bombshell legal decision, the Court of Appeal in New Zealand has sided with members of the Defence Force, deeming the mandate for COVID-19 vaccination at workplaces unlawful.
Allegedly.
The court found that while the Defence Force had the right to add COVID-19 vaccinations to its schedule, the consequences imposed by the mandate were disproportionate. Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand, Winston Peters, took to social media platform X, previously known as Twitter, to express his views on the ruling, stating, "New Zealand first campaigned on and fought for the removal of any and all remaining workplace mandates being enforced, and we ensured it was included in our coalition deal with National. This ruling by the Court of Appeal is evidence that it is the right and just thing to do to get rid of these remaining mandates. A New Zealand court has ruled a workplace mandate coercing members of the New Zealand Defence Force to participate in the experimental clinical trial unlawful on appeal." Now, mind you, any of you guys who have read the Nuremberg Code at all, or, watched the trials, etc., participate in medical procedures that they do not want to be a part of, you feel me? That includes coercion, bribery, anything with malintent to basically get them to, participate in that said medical procedure that you want them to, or just, anything to pressure them into doing it. It's illegal on an international level to do that, because that's exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews in Germany and, other classes of people too who they did not deem fit or that opposed them. Now, we have stated this quite a few times on this channel, you feel me? And we've had a couple of videos taken down because of talking stuff like this too. And we have not done anything wrong, by the way. But that's why we include those little parts that say allegedly, you feel me? Because we have to, otherwise YouTube will demonetize us, you feel me? And if you guys want to support the channel in a way that actually will make it to where we can get this content out to even more people completely raw and uncensored to the full extent that it's meant to be, that we can't hear on YouTube, check out our Rumble page. And it's also against a couple states' codes, by the way, too, to do a lot of the things that many different workplaces and federal agencies or institutions of public spaces, etc., were doing to people during the periods of lockdowns and when these vaccines were coming out, when they were still experimental, you feel me?
Allegedly.
And that is via approval of the FDA, an experimental approval, by the way, and that was well noted at that time. But if you said that, you were a crazy conspiracy theorist. And who made record profits while everybody else suffered and struggled during the years of the pandemic with these vaccines? Was it we the people, the hardworking Joes that make society run, or is it
Pfizer? CNN Tonight, brought to you by
Moderna.
With George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by
these big corporate conglomerates in big pharma and their elite buddies? Mind you, it was during a pandemic and they made it all privatized, which means money, not really helping people so much, especially when they didn't give it to the third world countries first. Yeah, that's totally saying that they want to help people, right? The court highlighted that the defense force failed to prove that such strict measures were necessary for maintaining the efficacy of the armed forces. Last year, the court heard that 55 members from a workforce of about 15,000, including civilians, had refused the COVID jab at the time the case was filed in 2022. Of those, 17 members were retained and 22 were discharged. Mind you, that is simply because they decided they did not want to participate in those for varying reasons, whether it was, religious or just belief practices, because they didn't really believe that the vaccines were tested enough, which is perfectly sane and logical. But if you were to, say that publicly and openly discuss that you didn't really trust it very well, or thought that they were very untrusted, you were labeled A. Again, that is people's rights to be a part of any medical procedures that they want to or not. You cannot deny that as a human being, that if somebody does not want to get a medical procedure done, you cannot force them to do it against their will. It is inhumane. That's exactly what the Nazis did in Germany, you feel me, with a lot of their vaccines. Mind you, it's going to be a decent amount worse, you feel me, because, well, they're in concentration camps and they were forced on a much more severe level, you feel me. But when you literally are threatened to be fired or basically lose a sense of income which provides the livelihood for your families and everything like that, you feel me, it's pretty hard and it's pretty fucked up that that happens still. Now, let's not forget that they also bribed us with free Krispy Kreme donuts, the sugary fucking trash that's so good, but so bad for you. Also, free lottery tickets, etc. if you got the good old jabby jab. Let us know if you guys have any more examples of bribery and coercion in the comment section down below. Now, if you guys want even more completely raw and uncensored content on the truth of what's going on in the world that the legacy media will not tell you guys about, or the government, hit that like button. Destroy the show, that subscribe button. It really does help us out whenever you guys do that. Not to mention, also helps get this information out to even more people, so that way they know what's going on in the world, you feel me, and know that it's okay to question these corrupt systems that we live in. But with that being out of the way though, my dudes, let's go and hop right back on into the video. So not only did that New Zealand Court of Appeals say that it was illegal for their defense force to push that on people and fire them because they didn't want to get the stuff, the Queensland, Australia Supreme Court has also been ruling that vaccine mandates when it came to COVID-19 on their police and ambulance force to be unlawful too. It kind of seems like the narrative's starting to change a little bit, isn't it? A lot of those things that us crazy conspiracy theorists that, question things independently were saying actually were kind of true. I'm willing to bet money that more and more cases like this are going to start showing up here over time too. It's just a matter of time. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in Queensland. In a landmark ruling, the Queensland Supreme Court has declared that the COVID-19 vaccine mandates for police and ambulance staff to be unlawful under the Human Rights Act. In a significant win for unvaccinated police and ambulance staff in Queensland, the Supreme Court has ruled that the vaccine mandates introduced by the Queensland Police Service during the COVID-19 pandemic were unlawful. The ruling, which declared the mandates to be in breach of the Human Rights Act. Hard to imagine being in violation of something called that, right? Comes after 38 Queensland police staff, including 16 officers, were reportedly sacked for refusing to get vaccinated. At the time of the report, 9 officers remained suspended as they awaited the Supreme Court decision on the challenge to the vaccine mandate. The number of Queensland Police Service members suspended due to the non-compliance with the vaccine mandate was 201, comprising 116 police officers and 85 staff members. That's quite a bit. Commissioner Katarina Carroll had introduced the vaccine directive in 2021, citing the heightened exposure to COVID-19 faced by frontline officers. However, the Supreme Court ruling has now overturned the lawfulness of these mandates, providing relief to those who had refused to get vaccinated and were facing disciplinary action. The ruling, which declared the directives to be unlawful under the Human Rights Act, brings an end to the disciplinary action against the suspended officers and staff members. They go on in that article basically to say that this is a huge win for, human rights and keeping freedom alive. And it's very true, because that's exactly why the Nuremberg Code became a thing, was so stuff like that that happened to the Jews and other people in Nazi Germany in these concentration camps, where they were forced to participate in medical procedures that they did not want to be a part of, to not be a thing. But like, that is why the Nuremberg Code was made, though, you guys. So that way that stuff does not happen again to any varying degree, but it did. And yet all these media outlets and everything else saying, oh, if you question these mandates or these lockdown procedures, you're a wacko conspiracy theorist. How are you crazy when you literally are questioning something which arguably was not very well tested, you feel me? It went down from 5 to 10 years of a testing trial period over several rigorous trials to being approved within the first couple of test rounds, you feel me? And within a 6-month period for certain companies like Pfizer's, which was, again, attributed to being the most significant contributor to the opioid epidemic for 2 decades. 2. Now, many governments of the world sat here and broke international law to make money. Like, they made a shit ton of money while everybody else suffered, was in the mud, and being forced to get experimental vaccines put into their body or fired because they questioned it.
Allegedly.
It's pretty messed up when you think about it, and these court rulings are a sign of everything flipping and turning around for the better. Now, if you guys want to hear more about the mass COVID study and everything like that, or the COVID vaccination study, and the side effects that were discovered in that study, which are groundbreaking, by the way, and really kind of show how much people were lied to and stuff like that, you guys are gonna have to hop over onto Rumble, because it's the place of free speech and they don't really give a shit, unlike here on CensorTube. So if you guys want to see this stuff fully raw and uncensored, and me keeping it 1,000,000% real, hop on over there now. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think? My adoring tribe members, new viewers, etc. Let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are on these court rulings in New Zealand and Queensland, Australia. What do you guys think on it? Why do you think the mainstream media isn't discussing it? Because this is pretty big stuff, you feel me? But if you guys did make it to this point in the video, as usual, please don't forget to hit that like button and destroy the shit out of that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me when you guys do this. It also helps us to get out to even more people, letting them know it's okay to question these corrupt systems that we live in, and, you know, giving them content that's completely raw and uncensored. Also, if you guys did make it to this point in the video, go and leave the word rebel in the comment section down below to let me know that you made it to the end and that you guys are part of the 1,000,000% tribe. Also, feel free to catch us live every Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube or over on our Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, etc. We talk about conspiracy facts such as this, you know, telling you guys things the good old reliable mainstream or legacy media does not. And, you know, we also play games such as Pokemon Unite, Fortnite, Apex Legends, etc. Whatever really floats the mood, you feel me? And just vibe out and have a good time together, you know? Always love to have more people in there. The more, the merrier. But that's gonna be it for us today, though, my dudes. Until next time, though, please don't forget to live long, prosper, take care in peace, keep it 1,000,000% real, and as always, fuck the system. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Z-Tribe. You!
My people of this country, and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is America.